What's up? This is so fun. Hello, squirrel friends. I have been so lucky to be at 92Y several times. I got to talk with Ryan Murphy and with Judith Light and with a bunch of Broadway people, and still this is the gayest one I've ever been to. It's amazing. Queerest, excuse me, we're inclusive here. As you already know, we are here to discuss the incredibly exciting new season of All Stars, which premieres on May 20th on Paramount+. All winners, some incredible, sickening guest judges, you know all of this, and let's just bring out the people that we're all really here to see, because they all look incredible. First, we have the Vivienne! Ladies and gentlemen, the icon, Raja! Ladies and gentlemen, Jinkx Monsoon! France. Here she is, Monét X Change. What? The one, the only, Trinity The Tuck. Stunning. Miss Yvie Oddly. Gorgeous. Miss Jaida Essence Hall. Gorgeous. And finally, Miss Shea Couleé. Walk. Walk. Let's hear it one more time. Look at this stage. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. Whew. I do not feel worthy of the incredible performers in front of me. The amount of joy and belonging and just jaw-dropping brilliance that is all of you combined, and I'm sure we all feel the same way, is like a life-changing amount. So it's amazing to be here with you. Truly amazing. Okay, so I have to just start by asking everybody, you know, I don't know how it works in terms of if we all knew that it was going to be all winners or how you were approached about it, but to come back to something that you've all individually conquered already and to re-enter that space and to give it another shot, what went through your head? What was that decision like? And how was it different being all winners as opposed to new contestants?
I just thought, yay, I could win some fucking money!
Does anyone feel free? We can also leave it at that.
It was actually probably the same for all of us. We were like, yay, money!
I think at first I was a little apprehensive because I was like, I'm coming off of winning during a pandemic. I really didn't get to travel the world. I didn't get to in my mind, I imagined that in order to feel really confident about being a winner of RuPaul's Drag Race, there was a certain amount of things that I had to accomplish or to do in the world, and that was not the case. So I'm glad that I did it. But the thing that ultimately made the decision to do so was of like, this is so monumental, and I think overall the fans want this the most. And I think without any of y'all or without our fans, we would not have a career. So, bitch, if we owe it to y'all, we gonna give you what the fuck you need, honey. Yes.
And I think is this thing on? Oh. I think it's like, extra special because this is something that really is like a service for the fans. Like you might see some other winners like joking about like, oh, I was called and I turned it down, bitch. Like we did this because we had something to prove to ourselves and we had something to give back to y'all without like the pressures of like, oh my God, I need to win Drag Race. Like that shit's already done. We already did that, so. You guys get to see us literally just having fun and at our best.
Yeah, for me, yeah. For me, I watched so much Survivor in the pandemic. And I was like, this is the Drag Race Survivor crossover that I need in my life. I was so jealous when Naomi got to eliminate Manila. And I just wanted to drama, so I just wanted to just come and have fun and just make good TV.
Shady bitch.
I think I thought to myself so many times, if I wish I had the chance to do it again knowing what I know now, you know? Like you learn so much after Drag Race. And so to do it again 10 years later and be like, look at what I learned. Like I can dress myself differently now.
I think and kind of like similar with Jaida, coming back, it was really a quick turnaround because I was actually still the reigning all-star when I went to go back and film the show. And so I just remember getting the call and being like, oh shit, that's happening now? You know? Because I feel like we had talked about it for so long, like when are they gonna do a winter season? And I don't know about y'all, but I did not see it coming as soon as it did. So when I got the call, I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah, I feel like I wasn't really prepared.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
Are you
Fight
sure?
each other.
I'll be a gentleman. I'll be a gentleman. You
Naked.
go ahead.
You are.
Well, I was just gonna say.
You're welcome.
She may be a man, she's showing gentle, okay?
I think my edibles just kicked in. I'm kind of emotional, you know, but I'm also just really glad to be here. Thank you guys so much for being here. I had been waiting to get back on TV for 11 fucking years, so I was always so envious of my friends. I got to go back on All Stars, and then I would see them reach like 1.5 million followers, and there I stood at 980 something. You know, I was just so jealous. And I had to go back on TV, and I just really wanted to have a really, really good time. And it was the perfect time because this year I turned 48. Right? If they would have asked me at 50, I would have told RuPaul to fuck off. So this was the perfect time. So and I made such amazing friends. You guys you'll see. That's all I have to say about it, really.
I just want to say, I feel like my first 2 runs on the show, I was super driven to win. I come from a pageant background. I really wanted to win. I was focused. Yeah. And going into this, I still wanted to win, but I also wanted to have fun because I think that's something I didn't do as much the first 2 times, and so I really wanted to soak it up, bitches, and take in the experience. So that's what I did, bitch.
Yeah. Beautiful. Did anyone have any of the queens that were here that they were either particularly nervous to go up against, excited to go up against, to meet, to spend time with, that you didn't know or you already did know going in, that you were happy to see there or afraid to see there?
I think I was most nervous going up against Shea because fucking...
Same.
Oh my God.
Same.
Can I say fuck? I already said it. I'm sorry.
Too late.
But just look at Shea. I mean, and look at the way she's competed. How many times now? And
I've lost count.
but, you know, even when you didn't win, you were a stellar competitor. And I'm not trying to be shady. I'm saying she was so fantastic.
It's not a joke, just a fact.
It's her life.
So I was very nervous, and I think I was most excited to meet Yvie Oddly for the first time.
She's just saying that because my dick's big.
It is.
This is not a joke. It's just facts.
I think that I was most nervous to meet the Vivienne. One, because she's English. Hi to James, wherever you are in the front row. There you go. We knew you were here.
You messaged me on Messenger before. I've swiftly blocked you. Please don't look at me. I love you.
But I saw how like determined she is, you know how much of a competitor she is, and then I'm like, and the face cannot be denied. But I was also extremely excited to work with Shea because we both come from the Midwest. We both have worked together so many times that we've never had the opportunity to spend like a very close amount of time together. So I was like, let me see what my sister's gonna give, what it's gonna be all about, and like. Again, like Raja said, like, bitch, sister for life now. So I'm really, really super glad that I got to like work with all you and everybody else.
Girl, same. I absolutely love this woman right here. We got so close during filming. We went on vacation in Puerto Vallarta, girl. We turned up in Mexico.
Shook our ass. We had 2 infinity pools at the villa.
2.
We still had to leave though.
But I know coming into the competition, I'd actually had the opportunity to work with everyone minus the Vivienne and had like individual relationships. But I was really excited to get to work with and meet the Vivienne because I really loved her on her season. And I truly, truly, truly loved getting a chance to develop a sisterhood and a bond with her because you guys will see. But she really fucking turned it out this season. And I just love her.
I can only echo, you know, when I got the call, me and my husband were lying in bed, and because of the time difference between LA and Liverpool, the phone rang. It was about 2 a.m. and I thought, oh, fuck this. I've said fuck, never mind. I said, fuck, I'm not answering this because I know he's a chatterbox and I'll be on the phone till 4 a.m. My husband said, about the 3rd ring, he said, I bet it's about the winner's season. I went, hello?
Do you like scary movies? Go to Drag Race.
And yes, I do. So I went back to Drag Race. But honestly, I was so nervous, not about going back as a winner, because, you know, whatever happens, no one's ever going to take the fact that we all won our season. No one can take our crown away. And these queens are just the most amazing people I could have ever wished for in that workroom. You know, as a British queen going over, and you know, I had the yeah, newsflash, I'm from England.
What?
These queens are absolute powerhouses, and you know, I felt the pressure of having to represent not only myself but a country, and I could not have done it without these. We speak every single day. It took me about 3 weeks into the competition to realize that they are just horrible, rotted queens, just like myself. And I don't know what I would have done without you guys this past year. I absolutely love you. You're going to see on the show, it's the most heartwarming, celebratory season, and fucking strap in. It's going to be amazing.
I think I had worked with everyone on here except Jaida. I never met Jaida before, and developing this friendship and sisterhood with Jaida on the show was amazing. Jaida had us all cracking up every single day, okay? Like by like, you know, you come in, you're tired, you know, because RuPaul be sleep depriving us and shit. And Jaida would just come in the room and crack a joke, and all of us would just be in stitches laughing. And also to work with Raja, we had worked together before, but Raja is one of the reasons why I fell in love with Drag Race on season 3. So like, you know, to be in the same room with her and see how her mind goes through like what she's gonna do for her makeup and how she like puts her looks together. It was really like watching one of your idols do something like right in front of you. So it was really great to do a season with you, Roger.
But let me say this really fast, bitch. The way Raja does her creative process, bitch, it's like a hacker. Like she is so, it's like all these amazing pieces from wherever, and then like is disoriented, and then she puts it together, and I don't even think she knows how it comes together. So if somebody ever tried to copy her, there would never ever be another Raja, ever, no matter how much.
Yeah, then she'd be like, I'm gonna smoke, and then she'd be gone for like a little bit. Then she'll come back.
You guys are so sweet. You guys are gonna really love the episode where we all fuck each other. It's so good.
Roger.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler.
I'm so happy this event is open to children. This is lovely.
Yeah, before we came out here, they were like, try not to make it too blue. I was like, okay.
I really enjoyed working with all these girls. I've worked with almost, well, I think everybody. Yeah, everybody except for Jaida going in. And so...
Pandemic.
What'd they say?
People got sick. What are we gonna do? I don't know.
I was really excited to compete with the Vivienne because she's a pageant queen. She's just never done a pageant, and I knew that she was gonna come hard.
Story of my life.
And so it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed your humor, and I just love your banter. I live.
Do you want to hear my Trinity impression? So I think this was in the sewing challenge, and Trinity was our voice of reason through the whole season. Every Friday, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but every Friday, I'm just gonna do my impression and not say anymore.
That's on Reddit.
Say, girl, I live. I need somebody to go to Sandy Alley now and get me some rhinestones, some taffeta, some Velcro without some sticky shit on the back. I'm supposed to make a fucking gown in an hour. Sort this shit out now.
You forgot the tap dancing shoes.
Accurate.
Really incredible. The Vivienne, I actually have a question for you. Two questions.
Oh.
The first is that I've always wondered how the Vivienne came to be as opposed to perhaps Vivienne. I love the. I just want to know where it was born.
Well, I started drag at around 15, 16, and in England there's that really old tradition of having a pun name. So we've got like Mary Minge Flaps, Gina G Spot, all of that, and I was like, I don't want to be that. Not that it's tacky. It's a little bit tacky. So I'm a huge fan of Vivienne Westwood, so it was always going to be Vivienne, then it was going to be Vivienne Von Teese, because I wanted to be like all burlesque, then realised my waist is never going to be that small. So I just thought in the age of social media and Google, you need a bloody thing, don't you? So.
Yeah, you're instantly verified with your name.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Well,
and I wonder, you're so fantastic on your UK season. I know we all watched it and loved it so much. And yes. I mean, the Trump alone, but we won't even talk about that. It's just unbelievable.
He's been put to bed.
Yes, put to bed. But coming from sort of a UK sensibility and sense of humor, did you feel like that was an advantage coming in and having that be something that set you apart? Was it a disadvantage since it's a slightly different tone in America? How did that affect your coming into this crew?
I think there's always been this huge conversation about like UK drag versus American drag, and I just think drag is drag. As long as it's good, we are all out to do the same thing, which is entertain. So whether you're being funny, whether you're serving a look, whether you're telling jokes, whether you're singing, as long as you do that well, it's the best of your advantage. So no, I don't think there was a kind of, oh God, how am I going to do in America? Because wait until you see my fucking looks, I'm just saying. I said, that was the one thing I said, if I'm going to America, I am remortgaging whatever I've got. And I just think, for me, drag is such an art form, and it's rich in every country that you go to. You see, you go. I remember the first time I ever went to Mickey's in LA, and I'd watched Mickey's on YouTube for years as such a huge fan. And for me, it was this beacon of like, and then I got there and went, oh, it's just a shitty gay bar, isn't it? It is. It's just a grubby gay bar with queens like myself working to make the money, and you realise that drag is this universal, like, undercurrent of our community that everyone loves, and we all do for the one reason of entertaining. So I hope we entertain you all with this season, because I know you're going to love it.
Beautifully said. I can't wait. Raja, you've been a reality TV show icon for a very long time. And you kind of set the stage for all of this in a way. And I'm very honored to be speaking with you, first of all. I have to know, in terms of the show and reality TV in general, how do you feel like this experience has evolved compared to the first time that you did this, and how's maybe the philosophy of like how the way it's produced or the experience of being on it is different in this newer age and sort of with social media and blah, blah, blah. Like how was it a different experience for you going in, apart from sort of just the competition itself structurally being different?
Gosh, that's really loaded and so am I. No, really, I feel like I was part of a huge evolution of watching reality TV happen, you know, and I worked with America's Next Top Model in the early 2000s.
Don't we know it?
Yeah.
You know, it was, and when I started working for them, it was a really proud moment for me. I had started as an assistant to Matthew Anderson, who was RuPaul's makeup artist, and the evolution of it was just it just happened the way it did. But watching, you know, being behind the scenes of reality TV kind of gave me a slight advantage when I went into RuPaul's Drag Race the first time, 11 years ago. So, but the audience is a lot more activated, and they're a lot more involved in our lives. And it wasn't so then. It wasn't, you know, the way we communicate with our celebrities or the people that we admire now is so much more accessible than then. So it's a really weird evolution, but I'm glad to be a part of it. I love being on TV. You know, I remember when I was working on America's Next Top Model, just being the behind-the-scenes guy, and whenever the cameras were around, I would always try to gay it up and ham it up and put some, like, you know, some little snide remark to the models just to get the attention to be on television, you know? And here I am, you know, 20 years later, maybe, I guess. I don't know. And I don't know. It has definitely evolved a lot.
Well, as a small gay boy that was watching America's Next Top Model all that time, you really were representation for me in a way that I didn't even realize. And so I want to thank you for getting yourself on camera.
Aw, thank you. It's so sweet. Thank you.
You know, we touched on it, all of us, and Jaida, your incredible aesthetic and how unique to you it is and how it really seems to evolve kind of effortlessly. Are there any kind of like rules of thumb or ways or like philosophies that you go about styling yourself, or is it very much sort of an ephemeral kind of in the moment organic thing?
I'd go with the second part, yeah, for sure. I don't know how it happens. You know, I've always been a very imaginative little boy. And when I was a kid, my father had to come to school every year and speak to my teachers because my mind would wander and I would daydream. So,
We love you. We love you, Guru.
oh my God. No, it's thank you. The compliments are so nice.
Of course. They're deserved, and thank God you daydream, because we get all this incredible art from you. So
and that edible.
Yeah.
No, but truly, thank you. I'm really happy to be in the position that I'm in. The girls I was so intimidated going into this competition, but as soon as I walked in, it was immediate respect and love, and yeah. Oh my God, I'm crying.
Well, we're thankful you're here.
No more compliments for Raja.
She said, that's it.
Oh my God. Oh, Lord.
Oh my God. Ms. Monsoon.
I was touching Monet's leg.
And then I was like, girl, go the other way, girl. It's razor blades on these legs.
Ms. Jinkx, first of all, I have to say, as a theater geek and a theater nerd and a theater queen myself, you were really my gateway into this glorious world of RuPaul's Drag Race. And I have to ask, first and foremost, you know, how do you find that love of theater and those references in that world have informed your drag? And also, how do you feel like drag is its own separate entity from just theater itself, or are they one and the same?
Well, I think for me, the whole reason I started drag was just to have another way to perform. I've always just wanted to be a performer, and it's what I'm most passionate about, but also being, you know, a genderqueer, trans femme, non-binary human being. Drag was just kind of inevitable, you know? I think as a kid, it wasn't whether or not, my family had a bet not on whether or not I'd be, you know, queer, but whether or not I'd come out before or after college. And so I came out at a very early age and started doing drag like immediately after. And what I thought was to pursue an acting career, I had to give up drag. And so I did that for a while. And then as soon as I graduated college and started working as an actor, they wanted me in drag for every role that I played. And I was like, wait a second, maybe these two things are intrinsically married in my life. And maybe I'm gonna be someone who can show that drag queens are capable of everything, you know? And when you think about the fact that like now we've got drag queens who are professional comedians, professional recording artists, and models for every designer, you know, actors and TV shows, I think we're tearing down slowly this idea that drag queens are a subsect of entertainers and showing that we are just entertainers. You know, we're not... We just show, like, we all have our talents and our strengths, and we chose drag as the way to showcase those things. So I don't think drag and theater have to be mutually exclusive. I think, you know, one cannot exist without the other. I don't know, I'm not trying to be too existential, but...
Chicken or the egg?
I started drag at 15 so that I could perform every weekend at the dance club, and that's, you know, that's, oh my God, that's 18 years ago, 17 years? Oh, no, I can't do math, I'm an actor. I'm 34, I started drag at 15, so that's how much time it's been.
Yeah, I think the 18, 19, something like that. I have to ask, in the Broadway vein, are there dream roles on the stage that you want to check off your list at some point? Because I know I'd like to see it.
I'm a Sondheim girl myself, rest in peace. So I would say my dream role is Mrs. Lovett in Sweeney Todd.
Oh.
But I wouldn't turn down the witch in Into the Woods. But I also wouldn't turn down the stepmother in Into the Woods. Just get me in a Sondheim musical and put me in the damn costume already.
I hope there are some producers present, because I'd like to see it. Ms. Monét X Change. In case you didn't feel from the room, and I'm sure you know every day of your life, this city really loves you very deeply. You know, you and my partner Noah Galvin both went to PPAS here in the city, and I just wonder how growing up in New York and being a city kid and just being around all of this energy and culture informed the kind of drag queen that you are today, and how you feel like that is part of who you are.
Yeah, you know, growing up in New York City, really, I think it was my gateway, obviously, into the entertainment industry. And New York City prepared me to have very thick skin for this industry, okay? Because people, you know, they have a lot to say about everything that you do. And growing up in New York City, and I'm from East Flatbush, Brooklyn. And yeah. The one place white people still afraid of, right down there. The last stop of the two-tray girl. Anyway, so... I would do that trek from there to Midtown. I had to PPAS on 48th Street, and I would ride the train an hour and a half every day to come to school. But I was so happy to do it because I was coming to this rich, diverse culture that PPAS fosters. I was going to school with all types of people and learning so many different things. And it's because of all those cultural experiences, I was never afraid to try different things and to really like lean into the gayness that was percolating in my spirit. You know what I'm saying? So I really thank New York City for that, and New York City for expanding my horizons and letting me be unapologetically black and queer in this city. It really is something that I love. Yeah. Rich, getting on the train in like booty shorts and leg warmers, like 5, 6, 7, 8. You know what I mean? Like, I love that. I would never trade it for anything. And I know that some people who aren't fortunate to live in New York City, and they are from small towns, they don't have that experience. And had I been from a small town, maybe I may not be sitting here today, but because I was fortunate to be queer and black and do all those things freely in the city, it made me this fierce drag queen, honey.
Certainly did. One of your many strengths, at least from my personal experience, is the way that you blend a real kind of like ease and casual comfort and something that makes people feel like they know you, like you're their friend and that we can really kiki and talk to you. And also an elevated kind of polish, like performer like self. And I just wonder how those things kind of marry and mix up in you and how you find the balance between like keeping it open and approachable and letting people feel like they know you, but also, you know, you're a bad bitch. You know what I'm saying?
God, I don't know. I think that going into reality TV and doing, all of us have this experience of going on Drag Race. When you get the call and you find out that RuPaul wants you on his show, you automatically start thinking, okay, how am I going to present myself to the world? What am I going to show people? How am I going to act? I want to be this kind of person. But I think that for me, I had those thoughts going in, and Bob the drag queen, my good old sis, going in, he was like, thank you. Thank you. No, don't clap for him. This is my time. I had all these thoughts in my head, and like right before I left, he was like, Monét, go to Drag Race. Don't do anything but be you. I was like, but I want. He's like, no. Like the reason why you're on the show is because people want to see you. They don't want to see this false. They don't want to see you be real or be this fierce cunty drag queen. They want to see you, Kevin Burton, Monét X Change. So I just went on doing that, and it worked out well on season 10. So I thought, you know what? I'll try it on All Stars 4 too. And then I was well received, and I won. And then coming into this all winter season, I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna be a nasty bitch. You know, so we'll see if it works out. I don't know.
Well, speaking of that All-Star season, Trinity.
I thought you were about to say, speaking of the nasty bitch.
I should have.
And you're not wrong.
I wonder for both of you what that experience was like winning together. I mean, I think it's something that we didn't all know was even possible, and was really special, kind of once in the series moment. So I just wonder, you know, Trinity, or for both of you, did you even know that was in the cards or an option, and what did that feel like, and how has that been in terms of the legacy of that?
Did anybody see the live reaction? Oh, we won together. I think, at least for me, and we did talk about this like right after. I think initially we were just like, we wish they would have just picked one or the other, because you're doing a competition, you want to be the one. But going through our reign, they didn't really cross. Like, we did our own thing, and you got your money, I got my money, and I just think that it was fun to. What?
You got your money, I got my money. We're good.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, like, and then I find it great that I had you to lean on, and it's something unique that there's not another one out there. Yeah. So
it's the only tie in Drag Race because RuPaul ain't doing it again. RuPaul was out an extra $100,000. Okay, his little vacation to Fiji got fucked up. Okay. So it will never happen again. It's the only tie that will ever happen in Drag Race. So like, we're cemented, at least for that, in Drag Race, of being the only tie, whatever that means to people. So we love it.
We do love it. I love it. Twinner.
Yes. Yes. Now, Trinity, you talked about coming from the pageant world and dominating the pageant world, and then coming in and destroying in the competition too. How has your view of drag changed coming from that world and then being on this kind of a platform with all these different, incredibly different, unique queens, and your own art has really evolved too? Like, how did that really change the way that you view sort of drag in general?
Well, I don't know if you know this, but Drag Race doesn't always show the fullness of who you are as an entertainer. Not necessarily because of editing, but you're confined to each challenge that they give you. Yes, I'm a pageant queen, but I was doing weird shit before I got on the show. I was doing David Bowie. I was doing, my drag mother is a club kid. So I was experimenting with unusual stuff far long before I got on Drag Race. That's why I'm creative. That's why I create things, because I had to. But yes, being on the show did expose me to even more drag, because I'm from the South and they put you in a box. And I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful and so have so much gratitude to the people that I've competed with and been able to travel with, because I've learned so much. I mean, I'm 38 this year, and I think my drag continues to evolve still today. I think that if you stop learning, then you shouldn't be doing this anymore, because what's the point? Really, we're creatures that need to evolve constantly, no matter how old you are. And so I think that that's been my journey.
Amazing. You know, I remember hearing your name on SNL when you were on the show. What is the experience of, like, obviously that specifically, but just in general, the way that the show has really permeated culturally and become like kind of a broad thing, and that I didn't know that any of us really expected it would become. What's that experience like to have that platform where it's not just necessarily the queer community, watching and admiring you? What's that been like?
Well, I was getting ready for a gig when that aired. I wasn't even contacted to let them know that they were doing a skit about me. And my friend Alexis Michelle FaceTimed me. She's like, girl, are you watching TV? I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, they're doing a skit about you on SNL. And so I had to find a TV. And so that was really fun to find out they made a skit about my tuck. But, all of these girls up here and all through Drag Race have done some amazing things. I mean, you've walked Fenty, you're doing Vegas, you've done so many movies and TV shows, same here. You're an icon for fashion. I mean, you were in America's Next Top Model before Drag Race. You've been in every TV show imaginable in the UK. So drag is endless. It's such a great platform for you to use to your advantage. And I know that I'm grateful, and I know that these girls are too.
Well said. Miss Yvie Oddly, hello. You are a very extraordinary queen, as we all know. We do. Yeah, we do. Just look. In a group and a community of people who are set apart by how individual and unique they are, your perspective is so incredibly singular, and there's really nobody like you. And I just wonder, have you always had that kind of self-possession? Is that something you had to discover? And I also wonder if there were any other people like that, queens or otherwise, that kind of inspired you when you were coming up and forming your own persona.
I mean, definitely so. We're all just like a collection of the nearest experiences and people to us. So for me, I did grow up watching Drag Race, grow up watching reality TV. I got to see plenty of these bitches on before I was there. And where some people like to grow and take what they saw, I don't know. I felt so othered growing up black and queer and incredibly gorgeous. It took a while to grow into it, but that part was really important. No, I felt really othered growing up, and I felt even more othered when I came out and came into the gay community, and still felt like there were so many boxes, so many very rigid boxes, and because I had just a sprinkle too much femininity, I was never gonna be worth anything. People wouldn't want to listen to my art. They wouldn't want to come see what I have to give the world because they didn't want to fuck me. And so drag was my rebellion for that. And when I watched such great people come before me, instead of following what they said, I was just fuck all the rules and just burn it all down.
Can I say something, Yvie? You said that people didn't want to fuck you, and that is so untrue. No, they wanted you to fuck them.
Am I right, ladies? Am I right?
All right. Am I right?
I also have to ask, I know that everybody probably has some version of this experience. I have my version of it too. The fan base is very rabid and very enthusiastic, and that goes both ways for everyone at some time or another, no matter how beautiful and loving it can be and how scary and horrible it can be at the same time. How do you put that in perspective? Do you engage with it? Do you look at it all the time? Never? How do you treat that in your mind in terms of how you are as a performer and taking in that support or not?
I mean, it rides off of like the same energy I was just talking about, where like I know a lot of people in the world would love to live in a place that completely gets where they are and who they are and like what your story is, and you want people to understand you, but I feed off of like the anger I feel when people don't get me. I've always fed off of the fact that I didn't feel understood, and so like when you throw shit at me, I'm just gonna do me 10 times harder. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Ms. Jaida Essence Hall.
Hi. Sup?
I just want to start by the fact that we all watched you win in mid-quarantine. And so just to begin with, I feel like you've sort of earned like an unending amount of live cheering and love. So let's just have one moment of that for Jada's win. Yes! Yes, 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 yes!
Get your ass up, bitch!
Yeah. Yes, on your feet!
Oh my God! What
Yes! Yes! It's deserved.
Oh my God, thanks y'all, shit. And when I was in high school and middle school, this is what the fuck they were supposed to be doing at the fucking talent show. Damn. Thanks.
What was that experience like? I mean, did you feel like that took something away from you? Did you feel like it was, a special kind of once in a lifetime situation? What now that you've had some time to process it, what does that feel like to you to have won in that way?
I don't know. I think like when sometimes we do amazing things, like right now, this moment is amazing, but we don't know how amazing and how important it will be in the future to anybody who's going to watch this, or to somebody that's growing up, or somebody in this audience right now who needs it. So when I was doing Drag Race, I try to stay very focused and in the moment, usually when I'm working. And even like Drag Race, it's a competition. It's fun, but for a lot of us, it's like work, because it's an opportunity that can change your life completely. And like winning through the pandemic, I know at first I was like, oh my God, if I win, this is like weird. I'll be at home. I don't know what's happening. I'm so confused. Like, it's like, did I win? Is this a fever dream? Like, what is COVID? Like, all of these things swirling around my mind. Why did they attack the Capitol? Just all these random things. And I sat back, and like it took me a while, because I shared with my sisters before, there's been a lot of stuff in my life that has happened, and there's been many moments that I felt like I wish I could go back and I could change that, or I wish this could happen a different way. And winning Drag Race truly showed me that, and I say it a lot, but everything in your life happens for a reason. Being cast on the show at the right time happened for the right reason. Winning the show at the right time happened for a reason. I know that like the energy that I was providing, just basically surviving off the energy that everyone out there in the world gave to me, helped so many people. And I couldn't be more happy that I did win during the pandemic, just like they said about the Twinners, honey. It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, unless you count Shea. but it's like a once-in-a-lifetime thing that like it happened, and I'm just thankful. You can't be sad about a blessing, honey.
Well, speaking as one of all of us who were going through that pandemic, it was one of the most beautiful bright spots watching you on the show and watching you win, and it was an incredible escape and joy for all of us when we really needed it.
Thank
so
you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shea Couleé.
Hey.
So you're like good at a lot of things. Did you know that?
No, tell me.
Well, I feel like sometimes on Drag Race, as you were talking about Trinity and so many of us, they require you to really kind of pick one lane and kind of identify yourself or synthesize your identity in a way that's digestible to a TV audience, which to a certain extent, of course, we understand. But you just strike me as a queen that does so many different things, and you have so many different flavors in your drag and in your art. And I wonder, how do you balance keeping yourself open to all those different lanes and skills, but keeping it Shea and keeping it something identifiable? Because again, at the same time, you feel very yourself. And so I wonder how you go about including everything that you want to and all the skills you have, but keeping them under the Shea umbrella.
I think for me personally, drag has been the most amazing thing to ever happen to me in my life. I grew up always like, I loved to sing, I loved to dance, I loved to draw, I loved to act, you know, I loved to play around in makeup, and there was all these things, and all of the guides, like the people in my life were always like, you gotta choose one thing. Because they would always tell me, you can only do one thing. And so I was in college. I went to Columbia College in Chicago, and I was like struggling, like trying to like land a major, because I was like, I wanna do theater performance, but I wanna do costume design. I was like, but I also wanna, you know, do the fashion department, and I wanna dance. And they were like, girl, you can't do all that. And then I saw this show called RuPaul's Drag Race. And it was Raja's season. And yes, I remember sitting there, and I first clocked Raja. I was like, whoa, is that Sutan from America's Next Top Model? And then I was just all like, okay, brilliant makeup artist. I was just all like, great drag queen, all the sewing challenges. And I had this moment where, you know, I saw a piece of me reflected in this beautiful 6'3" South Asian goddess. And I said, like, just seeing her made me think, I can do that too. And so it kind of just inspired me to throw caution to the wind and just go after all of the things that I enjoy, because life is too fucking short to not do the things that you want to do, you know?
Amen.
So, look, if I will say anything to anybody, if you have like a desire, if there's something, because you know, like you got that voice inside, if there's something that you feel that spark when you think about or even imagining yourself do it, you owe it to yourself to at least take the time and allow yourself to do the things that bring you joy, because there's so many things in this world that will tear you down, and you need to have something to counterbalance that.
Yes. Thank you. Oh. Especially now, everything is so freaking dark, so I hear that. I have to ask, we saw it in the trailer, what was it like to have Naomi Campbell show up?
That's designer. Get off the floor.
Bitch, you better do.
Pose.
Oh.
Ah la la.
Oh, bitch. Oh, God. How much time we got? Okay, first of all, let me fix my suit. First of all, there is this moment where literally, what was the little line that RuPaul said? She's like, we got one more legend to show you. And you know, we had already filmed like all of our entrances and everything. We were doing all this stuff. And we're just like standing there, and I was just so like, well, what other legend could possibly? And then RuPaul's hit on with your catwalk. And I swear to God, I said to myself, it's not Naomi Campbell, is it? And then she hit that corner, and all I could do was just, y'all, that woman is so beautiful. I mean, it's a given, but we were in a pandemic production, and so we couldn't get close enough to her, probably for good reasons. But I would say my only regret from the experience is not finding out from firsthand experience what she smells like. You know?
I think it'll still happen for you. I have a feeling.
Naomi, I'm around to smell you anytime.
Feed it to the universe.
So I'd love to move to some of these fan questions that I was handed from the crowd. And I didn't write or choose these, but I can't wait. Was there ever a challenge from another season you wish you could have done? Carrie asks.
I think I'd have loved to have done a musical. I'd never had the chance to do a musical. The Shea musical.
Yeah.
I was so jealous. And just a little tidbit about just before Naomi came on, when it was like there's a legend, I mean, there was such a buzz around the studio, and I was like, Shea. Shea. And I literally welled up, and like, as much as I love Naomi, I went,
I feel like I wish I could have been sometimes like I wish I could have been on an earlier season of Drag Race, because I miss when they like used to, the queens would like walk into the workroom and they'd be like, oh yeah, I'm here or whatever, and then they'd throw them into some Fear Factor shit. They'd be like, you guys are going to do, you're gonna do this full photo shoot while eating scorpions. Bring that back. Bring back those girls.
Yes.
I feel like I would have wanted to do any challenge on season 1 because we could have just literally woke up and put whatever the fuck you wanted on your face. And you would still look stunning.
Is it strange that I really would really want to do the wrestling challenge?
Yes.
No wrestling fans. Y'all didn't watch Glow on Netflix? Shit, damn. Lycra and big crimped wigs.
That's just not how I'm trying to get my back broke.
But you could get it blown out.
Okay, we have another. Oh, go.
Wasn't there like a rock and roll challenge on season 4?
I think it was 8.
8?
Yeah, where they had the different...
Oh, yeah.
I told you, math.
Just numbers.
It was Pandora.
Is it
I
Solange?
remember Pandora in that Who wig, that Whoville wig.
Jinkx, that was your season.
All I know is on my season we had one singing challenge, and it was a group singing challenge. So we all just kind of sang a bit, yeah. And I wanted to like sing, you know. That's why I held that note for so long, because it was my one chance.
Honestly, I would love to do that challenge from Raja season 3 when they all got like a genre to perform a RuPaul song. Just to see Carmen Carrera do reggae in real life. You know what I mean? I just want to see it.
What a setup!
And just know I would be safe 100% of the time.
I
Okay,
think
you go ahead.
something that a lot of people don't know about me is I'm obsessed with zombies. I love zombies. I love anything zombies, TV shows, movies, all of that. I would have loved to do the design challenge that they got to do on season 4. The
Apocalyptic challenge.
The Rupocalypse.
Apocalyptic.
I would have been the fiercest zombie. It would have been so good. Just blood dripping, eyeball maybe. Bum leg.
You already getting zombie.
You got a bum leg now.
We fixed your eye right before you got out here, girl.
Eyeball maybe.
What Josh would like to know, what is the highest compliment you've ever received from someone with regards to your drag?
Quit.
I can't speak for everybody on the panel up here today, girl. But I can speak for myself, and I would have to say, bitch, winning RuPaul's Drag Race, bitch. If that don't let you know that what you're doing is sickening, honey, then you need to figure it out.
Oh, I got to be a Simpson. That was great.
That's amazing.
I think, was it, oh my gosh, I'm gonna sound like I don't know anything about this TV show. But I think it might have been Kristen Johnson who called me the Meryl Streep of drag. And the only reason that meant so much to me is because at 5 years old, I knew every line to the movie Death Becomes Her. And so I think to date, that's the coolest thing that's ever been said to me.
All Stars for the finale, when I came out in my teacup dress, Carson's face, his jaw dropped. And so it was the biggest compliment, because normally he doesn't move his face. And I know, because I have a lot of Botox too. So when he actually moved his face, I said, yes, bitch, I got you.
For me is when I was doing the exchange rate. I had a talk show here briefly in New York City. Yeah. Downtown, and they asked me like, who is your dream guest? And I was like, RuPaul. And then like 2 weeks later, they were like, bitch, we got RuPaul. I was like, no, you did not. And Ru actually came, and then I went to meet him in the green room, and then RuPaul was sitting on the couch in a black suit, and he got up, he goes, Monét X Change. This bitch done got a talk show. So just hearing say that, and we like kicking for what that was, it made me melt.
Amazing.
I did the exchange rate once.
Did, and you were.
And one of the, I regret it. No, not, no, I don't regret doing your show. But we were playing a game where, a trivia game where they took a shot if they got the question right. And I am now almost 3 years sober. And from alcohol. I'm California sober. So that day they said, well, why don't you just take a hit from your dab pen instead of taking a shot? So the thing with alcohol is it takes a while before you start feeling the effects. With a dab pen, by the second shot from my dab pen, I was like, blah, 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 blah. And I made such a crazy fool of myself. And then I was like, I don't need this anymore. And I smacked it off the table into an audience member.
It hit him right in the eye, and Trinity has never been the same since.
And then she fell on her bum leg.
What are you talking about? I'm used to things shooting me in the eye.
Oh, Lord. Juliet would like to know, what is the first thing you did when you got home after you won your season?
Smoked a fat blunt.
I hear that.
Closed my laptop. Thanks for the applause. It felt great.
I had always wanted to. I took a bunch of my friends out to the Cheesecake Factory. Yeah. And I told them to get whatever they want. And then when the bill came, I got to reach across the table and grab the bill and go, I've got this one.
See, you took your friends out, and I started locking my door. That's not a joke.
We talked about this. She is not joking, seriously.
I know that New Yorkers, we don't fuck with like juniors, right? We're like juniors fuck juniors, but it's not good cheesecake. Let's be very honest about the situation. But I went to Junior's Cheesecake, the one in Brooklyn, and I bought 2 cheesecakes and I ate them both by my fucking self in my apartment. I did. I did. And that's how I got this.
And now your cake is eating the cheesecake.
I turn away for 1 second.
The first thing I did after fucking my husband was do a listing on eBay of 3 never-worn RuPeter badges. And then I made 20 whole pounds. It was fantastic. And I've still got 50 pence left.
If you could have won any other season besides your own, which season would you have chosen?
That's easy, bitch. 14. They gave that host so much money.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You got money for being a runner-up. You got money just for appearing there. They were like, oh, you got 14th place? Here's a hand job. I'll take any of it.
I have
I'll
to
give you
say,
one.
season 9 is when I would have loved to have won because our season was the best season. I'm sorry. We had the best cast, we had the best top 4, and it was a competition. So it would have been like the one to win.
I would have loved to have won Nikki Doll's season and came 9th and then been able to host my own franchise of the show. Which I'm sure is going to be fantastic. Is she here? Hi, Nikki.
You better beat that ass. Chop that ass.
Get up
Y'all
here.
got y'all's money's worth.
Yes.
Girl.
I love you, Nikki.
I am gooped, bitch. I was about to say, listen, Nikki Doll may be French, but she lives in New York now. I said, New York is a tribal. All these people about to beat your ass up in the parking lot, okay?
Gag. Which one of y'all were the friend that put her on 3-way? Because, bitch, this was literally like a 3-way call. I want to age myself, but, bitch, you know, you had the friend on the phone on the side like, waiting to talk all the shit you want to say, girl.
It's just jokes, folks.
Bonjour.
I think, I mean, how do you even keep the conversation going after what we just saw? I'm really happy I won season 5, I think, because All Stars 2 was a cast reunion of my season. So I feel pretty good where I sat.
Well, we're almost out of time, which is very sad, and I would stay here forever. So I want to end with one question for everyone and anyone. You know, RuPaul often says this thing about how the power that you have in drag is available to you outside of drag, and talks about the relationship of those two things. And I wonder for each of you, or for any of you, how does your persona in drag and the way you feel in drag bleed into your own life as separately from it? Does it all feel like one thing at this point? Do you like that bleed and that combination, or does it make it healthier for you to keep it separate? Just what's that experience like for each of you? I've always wondered that as someone who's never had to really marry myself to just one character, one persona, how that affects you as your own person.
I will say this. I know for a while when I started drag, I felt like it was kind of important to me to separate myself from my drag because oftentimes people would only associate with specifically just the drag. And so I would be like, oh no, I'm completely different. And then I would watch videos of myself and hear myself talk on recordings and stuff. And I'm like, you know what, you're kind of the same bitch. But I have to say, I am very glad that I am like this one melded person now because because of drag, like I have learned so many things about being responsible, about being more professional, not showing up on time, but being more professional, that I've had the opportunity to do so many things and go so many places that I never thought that Jared could ever go. And I think that the moment that, like, even before, when I auditioned for Drag Race, was the moment that I had realized how much Jaida contributed to the life that I had, the success that I had, and how happy I was in my life. And the moment that I realized that and gave over to the fact, like, we don't have to be different. It's all one. You can just be one and just enjoy all of it in every single facet of your life. That's when I felt the most sickening ever, you know?
Coming from a really small town, and then the drag being so specific, and the South is just a whole nother ball game. It's just back then it was really closed-minded, and so just like Jaida, for years I tried to separate the person I was out of drag and the entertainer that is Trinity, and this goes back to what I said earlier, is that you never stop learning about yourself, you never stop evolving. And it wasn't until, I mean, I've always questioned my gender identity since I can remember, but it wasn't until this last season when all of these girls were so brave, they felt so brave to make it known publicly who they are, that I was like, why am I still lying to myself? And so I think it's super important that if you, no matter what your path in life is, that you really are genuinely true to yourself, and it's never too late to be authentic to yourself. And so that is what drag has done for me.
I just like drag because it gave me this reclamation of my identity. You know, we're all born into so many things that you can't change about yourself. You're born into the family you're born into the situations you live in, you're born into the skin and the body that you're going to be stuck in for the rest of your life. And I had always been like looking to build my own identity, which is why I liked changing new schools, and I liked making new friends and like trying new nicknames. And it wasn't until I made Yvie that I made something that felt so genuine to who I had always been and who I was always searching for, because Yvie erased all of the boundaries that I had put up. Yvie erased like me having to hold myself a certain way, me having to speak in a certain manner. And so like the second I found myself in drag, I honestly threw out whatever identity there was beforehand. I'm Yvie in drag, I'm Yvie out of drag. Like it's my power, and it's the power I gave myself. So
Yes, ma'am.
This is why you're the trait of the season, for sure. Yeah, definite.
If I could,
Penis too.
if I could piggyback off of what's already been said, it's like, you know, from the moment we're born, assumptions are put on us, and people try to tell you who you are from everything that you say and do, and where you're born, and what you look like when you're born, and who you are throughout your whole life is dictated to you. And to do drag is a choice you make, you know, most of the time. You know, sometimes it's Halloween and you get put in drag, but you know, what I love about drag is there was no reason to start doing it other than this is what I needed to do for myself. And it gave me the ability to stop letting other people's assumptions of me dictate the way I had to live my life. And, you know, what Trinity said, and I think what we're learning more and more with every new season of Drag Race, and girls go on Drag Race and compete, and then have the ability to live their truth afterwards. It's like that's this incredible thing that drag gives us, is this place to explore ourselves and learn about ourselves so that we can find our truth. And the second I stopped, when I would take the drag off, I would put on what I called my boy drag. And the second I stopped putting on my boy drag, I started really living my life. And I just dressed and presented and acted the way that I knew I always felt inside. And that's what's given me everything good that I have in my life. The people who are close to me. I met my husband. Drag gave me everything that I have. And I just feel so grateful to it, because who knew? Who knew that dressing up like a middle-aged woman would give you your whole fucking life?
I think I have listening to all these stories, they're all so similar but different at the same time. But listening to Trinity and Jinkx, I started drag, I want to 15, maybe a bit longer years ago, before Drag Race was even a show, and before it was cool to be a drag queen, and drag queens were seen as, fabulous in the clubs and the shows. But once that lights and the curtain had gone down, we were the weirdos, and I kind of succumbed to the fact that I was going to be single for the rest of my life, and everyone wanted to be a friend when you were in drag, but that came off, and it was like, oh yeah, you're fun, you're the drag queen, but I'm not going to date you. So I just it was just, well, this is it for the rest of my life, and it was going to be a lonely but fabulous life. And it took me years of addiction and moving away and making the decision to go away and find myself and fall back in love with drag, the reason I did it for the performance. And then once I kind of got all over that, like Jinkx said, you kind of realize why you're doing it, and then met my husband, and everything that comes with it. I think it's finding the reason why you do what you do, for the love of doing it. And I think if that love of doing it goes away, then just stop doing it and do something else. We are here for a very, very short amount of time. So touching on what Shea said as well, whatever it is you want to do, go and do it, and you'll thank yourself in 10 years' time, because, drag, and I wouldn't be sat here with this amazing family. And we use that word family in such a broad spectrum, and it's maybe overused sometimes, but I'm just speechless to what this season has done. Has just reaffirmed everything and every reason I fell in love with drag. And we've all been. It's been a shit. I've been having a hard time coming to terms with, getting back, throwing yourself back into that ring of Drag Race. And, I've come off Twitter again, and, and it's them little things. And we speak, I probably speak to this lot more than my mom at the minute. But I couldn't, I've got honest. Love you, Mom. It's all right, she doesn't know how to work YouTube. I just want to say thank you, and thank you to RuPaul. Whatever you say about RuPaul's Drag Race has been the biggest phenomenon of pop culture since I don't know when.
Sliced bread.
Since sliced bread. And we like sliced bread.
Which RuPaul also invented. But say what you want about anything, the franchise, the show, RuPaul. We wouldn't be sat here right now doing this, talking about this, with a room full of such a broad spectrum of people and amazing personalities and talented, fucking amazing people. The people backstage, Ben, everyone. It's mind blowing, and it's only going to get bigger. And let's fucking take over the world, isn't it?
I just want to say, Vivienne, I am your mother. Now, drag really helped me unlock the fucking superhero that I was, right? I had no idea I had all this power inside of me to not be afraid to walk out of my apartment in the Bronx in full high horror drag and not be scared. You know what I'm saying? And drag, and even when we do things like drag con, and you see these 6, 7, 8-year-old kids come up to you in drag, and they feel so fucking brave. They feel like they can do anything because because even though they're so young, they have unlocked this thing about drag that makes you feel invincible, makes you feel like you are powerful, and it makes them feel strong. So when I see the little kids do that, I remember myself when I first started drag in 2011, and I was like, that's how I felt. I felt invincible. I felt fierce, and I'm grateful that drag has made me be this. Made me be my own superhero. I don't need no Superman. I got Monét X Change, all right?
Hello.
2011?
Yeah, that's when I started.
Damn, I'm old.
I gotta say this really quick. It's funny that you say that. Like the way, like I'm, like to explain it. Like I remember before I used to think that like when I did drag that it would be like this thing where you like, okay, you can get confidence when you're in drag. And then when you're out of drag, you can go to like this point of where like, okay, well, whatever. And it's like literally, like you said, unlocking that thing that turns you into a superhero where it's like now, even when I'm not Jaida and I'm walking down the street, like, girl, you couldn't tell me shit, honey.
I think for myself, drag not only unlocked this superpower within myself, but it really showed me how to love myself. I didn't know how to love myself before I started drag. And so for me, when I was thinking about, okay, who will this person, who will this character, who will this entity be? I was just all like, project all of the things that you wish that you were. And when I started to project that, then I realized you actually are these things. And I think that what drag did is it really introduced me to myself. And I felt so liberated knowing that I could go, take the wig, take the heels off, and still be this confident person. I mean, I still do it sometimes because I know how people see me and my personality on the show, but I still have moments where I'm not in drag and I get incredibly shy, and sometimes I can't even fix my mouth to say excuse me on the sidewalk to move past someone, you know, but I'm still learning. My drag is still teaching me to like own my space, understand that I deserve to be here, I deserve love, I deserve all of these things, and allow myself to give that to myself when I'm not in drag. And I think that that's what's so important about it.
Beautifully said.
Can I add to that?
Of course.
1,000% what everyone has said tonight. The superhero thing really, really resonates, right? But the cool thing is that we're all kind of superheroes, and drag for me has, I found a surrogate family. You know, it was sort of the plan B if my parents didn't accept me and kicked me out of the house, perhaps. And I found a community, friendships that have lasted me decades now. I've been doing this now for almost 30 fucking years. So, you know, if I could tell you in a few sentences, I couldn't, because there's been so much that has happened to me in the time that I've been doing this, but mostly I know that I have a connection to people, and I have a family, I have a community, I have a tribe of people who ultimately understand me the most, even sometimes beyond your blood. So for me, you know, being part of this family and my, you know, it's just a big group of love, and that's my favorite part about what drag has brought in my personal life. So, yes.
Beautiful. I can't think.
Yes, love. Yes, the house down.
Slay boots.
I really can't think of a better note to end on than love, and I just want to say that I know I speak for everybody in the room and so many people in the country and in the world when I say that everything seems so very frightening and uncertain and terrifying right now in so many ways. And I just want to say thank you for doing this again, and for we're putting yourselves out there again and giving us your art again. Yeah. To have this to look forward to over the next few months to get to look forward to all the insane art that we're going to see is just such a gift. And I feel so honored that I got to talk to each and every one of you. And thank you all for coming and watch RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars May 20th.